Tyler, the Creator, is a man that needs no introduction. And if you'd like a proper explanation of his evolution, there's hundreds of videos out there, but this video isn't about that. You see, what you need to understand for this video is that Tyler during this time wasn't the Tyler we all know him as now. In 2015, Tyler, the Creator, only had 3 official albums out: Bastard, Goblin, and Wolf. Had Tyler quit music at this time, a lot of people would have just written him off as shock value. See, Tyler had no idea at the time, but in just 2 albums, he'd finally go from a tiny little caterpillar to a beautiful butterfly, or a bee, depending on which one suits you more. And while a lot of people like to critique his older music and his offensive lyrics, I for one love everything that this era stands for. We on a haircut, somebody talk us brown. But that's not the point, right? Tyler's career in 2015 was in a weird place. You see, the lyrics on Rusty from his 2013 album Wolf would describe this position perfectly.
Analog fans are getting sick of the hate. All the Tron Cat fans are getting sick of the late. But what about me, dude? I'm getting sick of complaints.
In other words, Tyler was moving away from all the shock value that got him popular in the first place. Whether it was the infamous line on Tron Cat or him eating the roach in Yonkers. Real video, you can look it up. He was done. He wanted to work with choruses, hooks, and experiment with color in his music rather than the black and white aesthetic he was familiar with. So on New Year's 2015, while Tyler was performing at Club Nokia, not to be confused with the phone, he would announce a new album was coming. What would that album be? Well, it would be called Cherry Bomb. This album would have features from the likes of Kanye West, Pharrell, Charlie Wilson, and a new artist at the time, Kali Uchis. This album was filled with beautiful instrumentals, a wide range of different sounds, and most importantly, Tyler's first taste at working with a live orchestra. To say this album was experimental would be an understatement. So you'd expect an album like this to do fairly well, right? Well, not quite. This album would actually underperform in first week sales, with Wolf beating it out by 31,000 sales. Now, that's not to say that numbers equal quality of music, but this was a fairly good indicator to Tyler that the audience reception was a lot more split than his other body of works. Fantana would rate the album a strong 3. Critics on album ranking websites such as albumoftheyear.org would give the album a 65 out of 100, which would make it his lowest ranking album. The fan reception was so bad that Tyler, in a later 2018 interview, would even openly admit that everyone hated the album. You know, one bad album shouldn't just destroy an artist. Well, that's where you're wrong. Just look at Chance the Rapper's perception. But overall, I agree with you. One badly received album shouldn't just destroy somebody. But in this specific case, not only was it the album reception, but it was everything else surrounding it. Pay attention, all right? This was the beginning of a pattern for Tyler that we would see for the rest of his career. Since he was trying to break away from his previous audience, every time he'd release an album, his older material would be brought back up so that people could attack him. For an example, when Chromacopia released this year, Taylor fans started hating on him after finding out that he had a Taylor Swift bar all the way back in 2011's Goblin.
I got Swifties all mad at me with their racist ass.
Or when Igor released and cancel culture was really popular, people tried canceling him for lyrics on Tron Cat, which Tyler would later respond to on Manifesto from 2021's Call Me If You Get Lost.
Internet bringing no lyrics up like a hot shit. What's your address? I could probably send you a copy, bitch.
But in 2015, it was actually both old and new fans attacking him, as we referred to back in that Rusty bar. And it wasn't just fans who got him in trouble, there were also companies upset with him. You ever wondered why Tyler's Instagram handle was Felicia the Goat? Well, it's actually referring back to the name of a goat in Tyler's Mountain Dew commercial. These commercials back in 2015 followed a storyline of a goat going crazy on Mountain Dew and beating a bunch of niggas up. And in one of the commercials, the person that gets beat up is taken to the police station to point out who beat them up. They lined a bunch of niggas up and oh my god, Mountain Dew is promoting black stereotypes! Except they fucking weren't. These were all just Odd Future members. Odd Future being Tyler's hip-hop group at the time. Tyler was just putting on for them. But Boyce Watkins, a political analyst, said otherwise. He called the commercials racist and Mountain Dew pulled it. This then prompted Tyler to diss Boyce Watkins on Smuckers off of Cherry Bomb with the line,
Boyce Watkins, boys come and get it.
Oh, almost forgot, he also dissed him on Buffalo.
It's your Boyce Watkins, while you mad, it's the slave of me.
And actually, speaking of Buffalo, this song caused a whole other controversy, so let's run through that real quick. In the first verse, Tyler fights back against critics for bashing him for using the F word that doesn't end in up. Tyler's philosophy at the time was, well, I'm trying to desensitize the word.
I don't know, I think you give certain words power.
Are you saying it's just a word?
Yeah, like if you choose to
Is
be
there any word
you
that
could call me and I would not give a fuck.
Which is actually something I agree with. So he makes fun of those critiques by saying, all right, I'm gonna switch the F slur with book. And then he replaces that word with book for the next 4 lines to get his point across. But hold on, we're not done yet. We haven't even gotten to the music video. Shit. Tyler at this time just had an obsession with putting blackface on during this era. First time being in the Tamale music video. And even Tyler himself said that he'd rather this music video be left to your interpretation.
I usually just make shit because it look cool, but people brain just interpret it whatever way they want it to, man.
So my interpretation of this music video is that Tyler, a black kid who acts white, is being criticized by his own community for being too different. Pay attention to which bars he's rapping from which perspective. He addresses his controversies from the black community while still in whiteface, and then addresses to the black community in blackface as he asks how many leaders in the house. You follow it? Well shit, even if you're not, the music video's gone. We only have re-uploads, so who knows what point he's trying to get across. Hopefully it wasn't anything explosive. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, they treated this nigga like he was Black Osama bin Laden. In September of that same year, just 4 months after releasing Cherry Bomb, Tyler was denied access to the UK due to posing a threat to public order. And apparently those threats were lyrics from Bastard and Goblin. This would actually be his second ban at the time, as in 2014, he was banned from New Zealand for the exact same reason. And on top of that, he was also having complications entering Australia due to a feminist group starting a petition to ban him from the country. Want to know the reasons why? The contents of Bastard and Goblin. His controversies were beginning to catch up to him. You still with me? So far, we've talked about the mixed reception of his new album. We talked about him losing out on a big sponsorship deal. And now we've gone over how his lyrics got him banned from multiple countries. So you understand why the release of this album almost destroyed his career? Well, you don't need me to tell you that when Tyler can just tell you that himself. On October 12, 2015, Tyler would surprise drop a song called Fuck It onto the Odd Future YouTube channel. This song was a response to everything we just went through in this video, with the song being titled Fuck It because he couldn't come up with a name. It's a passionate song filled with a really angry approach that we hadn't seen Tyler use since Goblin. But there were even more things within the song that fueled the fire. Take a look at these lyrics. I was about to T-Off and putt to the end. Now it's anti-golf boys because I don't fuck with my friends. Anti-golf boys is a phrase that Tyler and his group Odd Future would use against their detractors, most notably after Odd Future was banned from New Zealand. Odd Future being made up of all of Tyler's friends that he grew up with all into one collective. And honestly, calling them a hip-hop collective only puts them in a box because they're actually just a collective in general. They had their own Adult Swim show called Loiter Squad. But that's not the point, all right? Pay attention. He literally just said in the line that he doesn't fuck with his friends. Why doesn't he fuck with his friends? Well, just 5 months before this song released and 1 month after Cherry Bomb released, Odd Future would finally disband after 8 years. But Tyler cleared it up. He said he was just looking at old photos. Psych! Bitch, Haji just said that Tyler turned his back on Odd Future. But that's not the beef that's highlighted in this song. He's actually referring to the beef between him and Earl Sweatshirt, another Odd Future member.
I wish I had a fucking Xanax while so you're talking about how deep I am.
This line was most likely a jab towards Earl because at the time, his fans were hailing his album, I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside, as deep and introspective, as seen from lyrics of Earl reflecting on his Xanax problem at the time. Tyler was literally crashing out on this song. That's why I wrote the McLaren, couldn't stop the Beamer. Tyler losing himself, that nigga turned to a demon. That nigga smiling, bring time and spiral all little niggas that want to be him, but fuck that. And at this point in his career, everything was catching up to him. He's beefing with childhood friends. His album is getting absolutely shitted on, and everything else we talked about in this video. So how did we get Chromacopia, Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost, Gay Nigga, Flower Boy Tyler? Well, I'll let the man himself tell you.
Walked in a restaurant and this guy stopped me and he said, "Oh, you're the guy from Ridiculousness." And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, you're so funny on there, man. That's sick. Hope to see more of that." And he walked off and I'm like, I just wrote a whole string section and like no one knows me. Okay, cool. And then I deleted my Vine and I said, I need to spend a year and a half not being funny.
That's right. So in late 2016, Tyler literally just locked in. He realized that he was being known for everything but music. So he took away all of the distractions, tapped into his emotions he feels when he's by himself, and that's how we got Flower Boy. Fortunately enough, in 2019, Tyler's ban on both the UK and New Zealand would be lifted, and the rest would be history.
And I want to give a special shout out to someone who I hold dear to my heart who made it where I couldn't come to this country 5 years ago. I know she's at home pissed off. Thank you, Theresa May.
Now, this is one of my favorite stories to tell my friends about Tyler. I just personally hate the fact that people shit so much on Cherry Bomb and the Wolf Trilogy so much, because I believe there's a lot of good material there once you understand the content past the surface level offensiveness. But on the same coin, I also do believe everything surrounding Cherry Bomb was something Tyler needed in his career. He needed the controversy to backfire in his face for once so that he could look on everything in his career at this point in a nice little retrospective. It was kind of like a reality check in a sort. And usually when something huge like that happens to a person, most people would crumble. But Tyler was able to use this and prove himself to be not like the other niggas. And look where he's at now. Man, evolution. It's a beautiful thing to witness. But that was the story of the album that almost destroyed Tyler the Creator. And I want to give a shout out to some of our recent channel members: Lil Shorty, Risklo, Jolyn, Intelligent, Icy Loser, Cosmo Universe, Big Man Riv, Nick Fox, Cy Jacko, Stinky Bean, Tina, RC Likes to Exist, Birds, and Jesus Cool Kids XEYT.
We also got the 2 members, username unknown and LaFlame. Can't forget about those niggas.
Your support means everything. And if any of you are interested in supporting the channel further, you can click the join button next to my name and become a member today. Been a kid from the country, I never fall, never timber, but you fucked up as a parent. Your child idols and